Now, the Zambia Institute of Planners is holding an annual general meeting. Okay, this is Morning Live News and Current Affairs. We are live from the ZNBC Kitwe studios. We move on the program. The Zambia Institute of Planners is holding its annual general meeting and has also launched the Sustainable Housing Guidelines. Now, to discuss more on the Sustainable Housing Guidelines, which was launched yesterday, we are joined in studio by Mr. Chibomba, President of the Zambia Institute of Planners. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Lillian. Good morning, viewers.
Okay. Now, let's start by shedding more light on the document launched yesterday. Does it provide answers to planning in Zambia?
The document that was launched yesterday has been the product of several stakeholders, including the government. The whole idea of the document is that it wants to reinvent how we see the use of natural resources to build our towns and cities. Previously, you couldn't build your house or a commercial property using local materials like wood or thatch. But with this guideline, it means that you will now be able to build your houses or any other kind of building using these natural, using the materials which are locally available in your area. And I think that's a step forward towards improving how we can provide adequate housing to our people.
Okay. Now, when you look at the way settlements are done in Zambia, or the way people develop their structures in most cities, you realize that we have a number of unplanned settlements. How best do you intend to address that?
So to address the issue of unplanned settlements, one of the things we have done as an institute, and I must hasten to say that our institute is responsible for regulating the practice of planning in the country. So what we have done is we have registered all the planners that are currently practicing in the various districts. We intend to be very, very strict on enforcing a strict code of conduct to ensure that our planners are doing the right thing. So it means that with every area which has been planned, our members are required to indicate their membership number and their full names. And therefore, if an area hasn't been planned properly, would be taking action not only against that planner who has erred in their work, but we can also take action against that local authority which has employed a planner who can't do the job correctly.
Okay. Now, what has the Institute of Planners done to normalize the situation?
So to normalize the situation, our first step was to first understand who is practicing planning, which we have done. We currently have about 300 members on our register, and during this conference, we're actually running our first planning conference where we'll be running some continuous professional development courses in a number of planning, with a number of planning issues to be discussed. One of them is what can we learn from informality in our cities? What should the future cities look like? So we are trying to train our planners to be able to prepare better plans and also position them for unforeseen practices that may not have initially been a part of their work. For instance, we have climate change now. Previously, planners never had to plan for climate change when they're making a city. But now we are talking about making a disaster risk reduction plan as part of the city plan.
Okay. So. Now, the planning may be good, but the monitoring aspect has also been an issue. How best can we address that?
To improve monitoring, we are trying to strengthen our relationships with the local authorities, but also we understand that our planning processes haven't been very, very open to the public. It was usually the duty of a planner to prepare the plan, implement it and monitor it. But now we are saying, let's open our doors more so we can have the stakeholders come on board to become a part of the process. And that is one of the things that we are moving on strongly, that we will open our doors and break those walls and ensure that we have more members of the public coming on board to get involved in implementing and monitoring the plans in their area.
A number of new districts coming up. Are you involved in the planning?
Yes, particularly for Northwestern Province, where I come from. I've been involved in the planning for the 4 districts of Kalumbila, Manyinga, Ikeleng, and Mushindamo districts.
Okay. It's great having you on the show. You know, time is never our ally. we move on the program. Tamara.
Yes, indeed, Lily, maybe just to
you wanted to come in Mishek today?
Just to mention that I attended the conference yesterday, and the minister challenged the Zambia Institute of Planners to ensure that they plan well for this country. He gave examples of our neighboring countries, South Africa, Namibia, Botswana. He said if you visit these countries, they've planned for it. Even their settlements, you know, they're well planned. But here in Zambia, you find that there are a lot of illegal settlements that come up, and in some of these instances, you find that even planners have been involved in some of these.
Okay, now I'm happy we have this association who will be monitoring and ensuring that right things are done.
Especially that the construction sector is booming. Everyone wants to build a house. So I'm sure even the local authorities will be
We take a break. Join us for more on the other side.
Still on local governance issues, Minister of Local Government Vincent Mwale has warned that government will not allow political cadres to take over the land allocation process. Mr. Mwale says it is unfortunate that the country has continued to experience illegal developments in undesignated areas. He said his ministry is working with the Ministry of Lands and Housing to clean up all illegal settlements and developments, including those near the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. Mr. Mwale further challenged the Zambia Institute of Planners to be professional in the way they conduct their duties. He was speaking in Kitwe when he opened the Zambia Institute of Planners annual general meeting and launch of sustainable housing guidelines.
Should be planning for this country have given up their profession to cadres. They've let cadres take control of everything. Now, I want to tell you that this time around, the president is putting his foot down. He has said he will not allow our political cadres or those masquerading as cadres to be able to have a free way, do as they wish. This must stop, and I challenge the ZIP executive and all of you to ensure that you uphold professionalism in all your dealings, but also ensure that all those found wanting are brought to book